welcome back to the Trevor Report. Let's jump right on into it. We have this brilliant headline from Business Insider. Putin's nuclear threats are pushing people like Trump and Elon Musk to press for a Ukraine peace deal. A nuclear expert warns that's dangerous. War is peace. From Business Insider. It's just, oh God, you can't make this up. This is just whatever. It's so stupid. This is so stupid. But there's more stuff that's stupid. The CEO of Moderna just admitted that biology is a thing. Video. CEO admits COVID is like seasonal flu. Only vulnerable need jabs. In a rare moment, Moderna CEO Stefan Blancel, however you pronounce that, don't care, admitted that COVID is akin to a seasonal flu and that only older people and those who have compromised immune systems need to get vaccinated. Speaking at a finance conference Monday, however you pronounce his name, noted, "I think it's going to be like the flu. If you're 25 years old, you don't need an annual booster every year if you're healthy. And the people who are in their 20s that have gotten their 7th booster or whatever, you get what you deserve. You, at the end of the day, are going to have to face the consequences of your own decisions, and you made a stupid decision." But anyway, Boncel, or Bonkel, however, I don't know how to pronounce French names, urged that it is, quote, very important to think about it, whether or not you get COVID boosters, adding that there are 1.5 billion people on the planet who have vulnerabilities to such diseases, but emphasizing that younger people are going to have to decide for themselves what they want to do. This is what people were saying in 2021, and you were called a fascist for it. But the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar big pharma company says it, so then I guess it's fine. He is, after all, one of your betters. But anyway, let's speaking of betters. Oh, come on. I don't prompt people for the newsletter on my site, Come on. But anyway, teacher put on leave after assignment about self-indulgence in an unwholesome manner. I was originally going to read this. Like, I read it before I recorded the segment or whatever. Like, I read everything before I record it, obviously, But see it on screen. Clickable link down below in the description. You can read this essay he asked 10th grade students to read yourself. But it's like straight up pedo porn. Like, there's no getting around it. It's just awful. But speaking of awful, New York City writer fighting over phone dies in rush hour track fall, sources. So basically, there's these two dudes who got into like a fight, like, or whatever, on the stairs. It's New York. If you live there, you kind of get what you deserve. Like, leave. But these two dudes got into a fight, and one of them pushed the other one down an escalator. And it was very brutal. He hit his head more than once. Very, very brutal. And then there was this other dude. I'm not going to play the video, but you could see with his face. He, with malice. I could see it on his face. Okay. All right, fine. Since this is a new show, in my opinion, this man acted with malice, because apparently you have to cover your bases like that because everyone's being sued. Like, author intent, people, author intent. But this is just awful. Just shove a man into an oncoming train. Just kill him because you can. It's so awful. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it's just not something that, like, everything here, okay, between the corporate press being just increasingly awful. Like, I didn't think they could get worse after 2021, but they keep getting worse. Okay, I didn't think that the contradictions in society would keep happening and keep increasing, but they keep happening and they keep increasing. We have uncountable levels of contradictions. There are people who are saying that this does not go on in schools. this doesn't go on in the schools. Okay, what's going on here is queer theory. And with this essay, what the queer theorists believe is that all children are inherently sexual. So you are oppressing children by making sure that children grow up wholesomely, basically. And they're wrong, because anyone who believes that children is inherently sexual is a pedophile, basically. So don't know how else to respond to that. But anyway, moving on to the next segment. White House pressured El Paso mayor not to declare migrant emergency. But this isn't the only thing they pressured. The Biden administration has pressured other places and institutions to do something for them, right? Saudi Arabia and OPEC were the Biden administration tried to put pressure on Saudi Arabia and OPEC in order to say, hey, please don't lower the gas. Please don't do things that would increase gas prices until after the midterms. And then they were like, no. Because here's the thing. Okay, Saudi Arabia, with their sort of how they've sort of quasi-cornered the oil market as of late, that is their proxy war against the U.S. dollar. Okay, the Russia-Ukraine war, that is a proxy war against the U.S. dollar for the most part. Okay, the way China just randomly decides to devalue their currency, that is a proxy war against the U.S. dollar, because we, the United States, have a lot of debt that we owe to China. So when they devalue their currency, it messes with our currency in the circulating supply because of debts that we have. Okay, there's all of these things that are a proxy war against the U.S. dollar, and honestly, you could argue that the Biden administration is a proxy war against the U.S. dollar. But this is an incredibly stupid and desperate move on Biden's part. Of course he wouldn't do this. Of course Saudi Arabia wouldn't do this. Saudi Arabia hates the United States. Russia hates the United States. China hates the United States. Okay, and what do you do when you hate someone who's top dog? Well, you gather all the king's horses and all the king's men, and you make sure Humpty doesn't ever get up again. Okay, but the Biden administration, okay, with the El Paso stuff, like this is it's honestly pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. Okay, the White House pressured the mayor of El Paso, Texas, to not declare an emergency. Don't declare something is an obvious emergency because it's bad for us politically. Like you see the game that's being played here. Okay, but we got to move on to the final segment of the show, and it's not going to go on YouTube. Go to theacropolisnews.com, go to Odyssey, go to Rumble. Okay, it's the same show title. Okay, but we got to move on to the next segment. So for those who are for those who are watching on YouTube, sorry, you don't get access to segment 4 because I had to talk about things that big tech doesn't like when you talk about. But this next segment, which I'm very surprising because what I have to say about this is far more, I guess you could argue, inflammatory than the other one. But anyway, Stacey Abrams floats abortion as an inflation fix. Having children is why you're worried about rising prices. And then there's the losers at Just Stop Oil. They're a bunch of artsy theater kids who have decided to debauch and vandalize art in order to make a statement about how we need to just stop oil. This is so stupid. If you stop oil and we just try to run the grid without oil right now, what would happen in the immediate if you just stop oil is 60 million diabetics around the world would die because they can't refrigerate their insulin. Okay, a lot of the people who have electric things plugged into the wall for oxygen would die because there'd be no power going to their homes. Okay, if you just stop oil, it would be the worst Holocaust in the entirety of history. It'd be the worst one ever. Hundreds of millions of people would die in like a month or two, easy. It would be like it would honestly be worse than mass slaughter on an industrial scale. It would be mass slaughter on a worldwide scale if you just stopped oil. Like, what? Stop. But it's a part of this broader trend, okay, where climate activism seems to just be, and I've covered this in previous Trevor reports where I made the argument for a climate activism that is pro-human. But this climate activism, okay, the thing that Stacey Abrams said isn't really about climate activism, but I'd imagine if you asked Stacey Abrams, what about abortion to help save the planet, she'd probably agree with that as well, because disagree is heresy among secular Catholics or the left or the woke. But essentially, there's this increasingly, there was always strands of this, that have just always been there, but it's this incredibly anti-human sentiment that borders on just outright omnicide. And I think it's kind of creepy, and all previous Trevor reports down below in the description if you want to see my pro-human climate activism video. How you can actually have the best of both worlds and make both the climate change types and the anti-climate change types, make them both happy in such a way that neither one would have to compromise, and you would increase the standard of living for humans. But anyway, in the meantime, my name is Trevor Brown. You just watch the Trevor Report. Click the link tree down below in the description. The second one that I made after the first one that I made on my own website, the one that I made that I saw on my own website, is embedded into the even newer new link tree that's there. So click that one, because my first one, my original link tree, was banned because I opposed black nationalism like a lesser. Anyway, click that down below. See you in the next one.
Acropolis News. News from the Acropolis.